Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series of Mobile Computing and Wireless Communication. I am your instructor, Ms. Alba Rupala. So again we are continuing with our topic, that is GSM. Today we will learn about GSM channels, then after GSM protocol structure, then after authentication and security in GSM. So basically GSM channels. So GSM channels can be divided into two types, traffic channels and control channels. So we had learned in a GSM frequency allocation that from the FDMA we are having 125 channels. From that 125 channels, one channel is basically for SOS call, right? So remaining is 124 channel. From that 124 channel, we are keeping aside channel number 1 and channel number 124. So total we are having 122 channels. So from this 122 channels, for carrying user data, we are using 90 channels, and that 90 channels are referred as traffic channels. And remaining 32 channels are for control information transfer, and that channels are known as control channels. So ultimately GSM channels are divided into two types, that are traffic channels and control channels. So traffic channels are basically carrying or sending data from the sender to receiver, actual data. That actual data will be carried out by this traffic channel. So this traffic channel can be further divided into two types, traffic control channel with half rate and traffic control channel with full rate. So whatever channel we are having for a full rate data rate transfer, if we are dividing it by 2, so we are getting for that particular full rate channel half rate channel. Now what is the difference between full rate and half rate? So in full rate channel, basically we are using all the capacity and we are not thinking about the number of users increment. But in half rate channel, we are dividing our capacity to accommodate more number of users. So ultimately the quality of call in full rate channel is very much of higher than half rate channel. So basically there are many kind of half rate channel or full rate channel available. Suppose the full rate channel example, 4.8 kbps full rate channel, 9.6 kbps full rate channel, 14.4 kbps full rate channel, 22.84 kbps full rate channel. Okay, and if we are dividing all this particular by 2 separately, then we can get the half rate channel to relevant full rate channel. Now this was all about the traffic channels. Now next topic is for control channels. Now again control channels can be divided into three types, broadcast control channel, common control channel and dedicated control channel. So these broadcast and common control channels are unidirectional channel. In this, data can be sent from one direction only, like from BTS to MS or MS to BTS. But the dedicated control channel is bidirectional channel, in which data can be transferred from MS to BTS and BTS to MS both. So again, if we talk about broadcast control channel, then broadcast control channel can further divided into two types, frequency correction channel, that is FCCH, and synchronization channel, that is SCH. Now frequency correction channel will be used for correction of frequency information sending. So that will be given from DTS to MS. Then this will be the proper frequency allocation given to that particular MS. Now next one is synchronization channel. So we are having synchronization information between the transmitter and receiver, and that data will be carried out from the BTS to MS by synchronization channel. Now next type is common control channel. Now common control channel is further divided into three types, that is paging channel, random access control channel and access grant channel. Now paging channel is basically we have seen in our call routing mechanism that MSC is sending paging request message to the relevant BSS, right? So that BSS in between BSC and BTS is sending the paging request to network. So ultimately your MS will send paging information from MS to BTS to BSC and to MSC. So that information will be carried out by MS to BTS by paging channel. Next one is random access control channel. Now random access control channel is basically used for information of random number to be given to authentication center and MS. So basically this kind of random access control channel is used for random number sending, okay, transmission. That will be used in authentication and security purpose. Next one is access grant channel. The access for data transmission will be granted by this access grant channel, which is from BTS to MS. Now the dedicated control channel is having two types: slow dedicated control channel and fast dedicated control channel. So if we have not established any of the connection and we have not done any of the control information sending, before that if we want to transmit the data between the sender and receiver, so that can be sent according to the dedicated control channel. So the dedicated control channel can further be divided into slow and fast. If we want a faster or higher transmission rate, then we can use the fast control channel. If we want a slower transmission rate, then we can use the slow control channel. Okay. So next is this particular kind of channel is bidirectional. BTS and MS both can transfer to each other. Now next one is GSM signaling protocol structure. Now in diagram we can see that we are having different interface, interface, ABIS interface and A interface, and we are having MS, BTS, BSC and MSC relevant protocol stack. Now same as in your OSI layer, this protocol stack can also be divided into layers, and that layers are, the first layer is physical layer, then after data link layer, and then after network layer. So we are understanding this whole concept according to the layer. So first of all, layer 1, that is physical layer. The physical layer is same as your OSI model, in which bit by bit transmission of your data, modulation will be carried out, multiplexing will be carried out, encoding will be carried out. This all information which is done in OSI model of the physical layer, all will be done in a GSM in physical layer. So these are the synchronization also, these are the functions of the physical layer. Next one is layer 2, data link layer. Basically data link layer is using LAPDM. This LAPDM is nothing but the link access procedure for D channel. D channel means data channel. For data channel transmission, management of link will be done according to this LAPD. Now LAPD is having two types, LAPD itself and LAPDM. So this M stands for lightweighted LAPD, because it is not having any synchronization flag or checksum mechanism for error detection. So it is lightweighted, but LAPD is doing both of them. Okay, so basically at A interface we are using LAPD, but at UM and ABIS interface we are using LAPDM. Next one is network layer. Network layer is having basically three protocols, that is RR protocol, MM protocol and CM protocol. Now RR protocol is radio link protocol, in which the setup of radio link, maintenance of radio link and release of radio link will be given by this RR protocol. Next one is MM protocol, that is mobility management protocol. The mobility management protocol is basically handling the functions of registration, authentication, identification of location, updation, all this. And even though your TMSI number, which is replacing your IMSI number, will be given by the MM, that is mobility management protocol. Next one is call management protocol. So whatever your call is, that will be managed by the CM protocol. even though your message service is also done by the CM protocol. So this is about the GSM signaling protocol structure. Now next topic is authentication and security in GSM. Basically authentication and security in GSM will have three basic parameter terms: access control and authentication, which means we are validating that user who is subscribed to is valid for access the service or not, and that will be checked according to the algorithms which we see in this lecture only. Next one is confidentiality. That means to whom we want to send data, the person is receiving the perfect data without any interruption and without being hacked. That is what confidentiality. Third thing, anonymity. That means ultimately whoever the person is, no third party can know the real identification of the transmitter and receiver. We are hiding the personal information or all the information of the transmitter and receiver. Even we are using TMSI number, the temporary subscriber identity number, because of no one can hack it. Okay, so this three parameter is very much of important, and this three parameter will be carried out by three algorithm: A3 algorithm, A5 algorithm and A8 algorithm. So starting with the algorithm A3. So this algorithm is very different one, because we are checking that the person is authenticated or not. For this purpose, as we have discussed in our GSM architecture, that SIM card is having one private key which is being stored in an authentication center. So now what is our task? In channel we have learned about the random access control channel. This random access control channel is providing random number. Now this random number will be given to the authentication center and SIM card. So by the authentication and at the authentication center and at the SIM card, with the input of private key and random number, both of the 128-bit, with the use of A3 algorithm, serial response is created, and this serial response is of 32-bit. Now the authentication center will send serial response to MSC, and SIM card will also send serial response to MSC. Now it is the task of MSC to check or compare both the serial response. If the serial response is matching, then the user is authenticated and approved to send the data and further communication. So like this we can authenticate a user. Next one is A8 algorithm. This algorithm is for creating or generation of the privacy key for the encryption purpose, or ciphering purpose. So we, same as we are having the private key information and we are having the random number of 128-bit each. Now using A8 algorithm, we can have the output of a cipher key KC, which is of 64-bit. Now we can use this cipher key with the use of A5 algorithm to cipher the data. So we can see that in diagram. First of all, we are using the random number and privacy key and we are generating the serial response. Next step, we are using the random number and privacy key again, and with the use of A8 algorithm, we are creating cipher key KC. Now with the cipher key and data, with the use of A5 algorithm, we are encrypting our data. So thank you. We will meet in our next lecture.